Another big moment and scary moment in your 50 years together came in the early 90s when you had that fall?
Yes, it was 94. In 1994, and it was January the 7th of 1994. I walked out in a severe ice storm to clean the ice off my car windows in case I had to get to the hospital for an emergency. And I became the emergency. And Peg did not even walk out. Derek found me. I told no one I was going outside. And probably Derek was home that day because of the ice storm, and said to Mother, who was ironing in the rec room, "Where's Dad?" And she said, "I don't know. He was upstairs in the living room." And Derek says, "He's not there." So he went to the garage and opened up the garage door to take a look, and I had gone outside, and I was unconscious and frozen to the driveway. It was still raining and freezing at that time. So anyway, Derek ran in and said, "I found Dad, I think he's dead." She runs up from the basement and scoots out because you did not walk out. It was too slippery. And by golly, she saw I was alive and ran back in the house and dialed, scooted back in and dialed 911. And those blessed people got there within about a half hour and put me in on the stretcher, took me to the hospital. And it was just touch and go for a little while because I lost my voice, was paralyzed, someone on the left side, could not swallow for a month. All the bad side effects of brain damage. And anyway, I came through it. It took a lot of effort on their part because I was very depressed. And if it was not for the kids and Peg, I would have just let it go because I didn't want to be less than what I had been. It's hard to accept when you're a kind of temperament I am, and that was difficult. But she said, "Get up, don't you show me into this stuff, and move it." And she was my instrument in getting better. She really was. I don't know what I would have done without her at that time. I don't mean ever.
And you were fortunate that actually
Yes.
it was ice.
It was ice. Yeah.
Because had you just fallen under other circumstances, you probably would have been in much worse shape.
Yeah, because the coldness that I experienced that night stopped the cerebral bleeding that I had ensued. But anyway, I have no speech on the left side. It is destroyed. I'm talking from the aesthetic side of the brain. That's why it took so long to break and go over.
From the aesthetic side?
Yeah, this side. I had some receptors up here, and my thoughts crossed over. And I learned to do this through music, which is on this side.
So it's ironic that it's kind of a battle between the right side and the left side. It's kind of like the liberal part of your brain sort of has saved your life, in a matter of speaking.
Well, I've
never looked at it that way.
No.
Right.
As a Republican,
it's a battle between the Republican side of your brain and the liberal side of your brain.
You're right. You're right.
I was devastated. Knowing the type of man that he is, I know how hurt he was and how upset he was when he couldn't speak. And I didn't know what to do for his frustration. And, well, I just did the best I could do. And finally we communicated with each other, and I think he sensed how much he was needed. And he tried very, very hard to talk, and he succeeded.
Yeah, only because of one person. Because 2.5 years of doing nothing 3 times a week in speech therapy and not accomplish a thing.
He's come a long way.
I finally got to the little hospital next to my hospital, and this gal had this new program called MIT, Molecular Intonation Therapy, and that deals with the brain crossing over. And I was able to do that, but it took another couple of years to get it.
But they didn't think you were going to speak as well as you do now.
No. They told me I never would. You know, and that's why I am now have not a student but a person, Michael.
Right.
And he is beginning to put the words in there. He's just making that crossover from this side to this side, and he is. How are you? He can say those things now, and true not. A year ago, he was not talking at all.
Just quickly tell that story. Michael is who?
Michael Kuhn. He was in a severe accident on leave from the Navy, and he is now 24, and that happened when he was 21. And they gave up in the Navy and told him to go home. He'll never talk.
Right.
And he is now talking somewhat.
Because of you. Well, in large part because of your help.
Program. And his mother and family are so dedicated to that boy that he knows what he's worth to that family, and is really working hard to make the achievements, and that's the only way you can do that.
And I'm sure the therapy that you give him has been therapeutic for you too.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
So you also were a bit of an inventor and had a couple of patents.
Yeah, one for the heartworm detection for small animals, and the second one, the first one actually was called the fecalizer. It was a test for parasites in animals as well as humans. And J&J bought the patent and was marketing for 17 years worldwide. Japan, all the Europe.
And you made royalties on that.
Yes. For the 17 years, and then it just stopped like that, although they're still selling them. Most veterinarians use that particular product, by the way.
So, talk about your feelings of what's contributed, what's been the reason for your longevity. How do you explain it?
I kind of feel that probably the main contributing factor with our relationship with each other and the success of our marriage has been our faith, our common faith. We've had lots of tears, we've had lots of problems, and we've always prayed to God to help us through those problems. We've had lots of happiness, and we've had lots of joy and laughter, and we've always thanked God for all those blessings. And I think that's contributed a lot to our marriage.
No, that sums it up very nicely. And I think what she just said puts it on the level that most people would consider the main thing in their marriage that keeps us together if they analyze it properly. You have to have something common to keep that union together. What better to do it than have faith? And that's...
And a great respect.
Yes.
And great love for each other.
And a great family. Good kids. Love them.